What is going on, guys? I've been meaning to make this video for a while. Actually, it's the competitive analysis, one of those videos which most people know this is like my favorite types of videos to make, period. This will be, judging by the title, you'd already know it's the top 10 Z moves in OU. So this is not going to be like the Z move itself. It's basically going to be like the top 10 users of Z moves and like the sets they run and like why they are as good as they are in current gen OUs. So basically, as Z moves, fantastic addition to the game. They're weird, dude. Like, they're very, very strong. They definitely changed the game a lot, and they've made a lot of unviable Pokemon in the past. Like in OU, you never saw anything like Salamence, because obviously it's not a good Pokemon. At least in OU, it was not a good mon. Stuff like what's it called? Volcarona was, it was used but not as much. Gyarados, regular Gyara, was very like not used at all, and then the Z move set gave it more like leeway to be amazing in this gen. Sorry if I ever like stutter or I like have to catch my train of thought. I don't script my videos, so this is kind of like just like a blind run in. I already made the list, but like yeah. But anyway, I can just hop right into it. No need to get beat around the bush. So for the first one, I go from lowest to high. The 10th best Z move user I have here is Manaphy. Now this might surprise some people, because Manaphy in the beginning was people were like, oh my god, Z Rain Dance is gonna be crazy good, and I myself thought, oh my god, this set is gonna be super lit, like nothing's gonna be able to take it off. But it's actually not as good. Like it's obviously a good set, but it's not as good as people like really thought it was gonna be, because even with the +1 speed, +1 special attack, +3 special attack, if it's able to set up 2 times, Manaphy still can't kill some things, because you have to like choose between your coverage. If you go with Surf plus Psychic, because again you can only have 2 attacking moves, you're walled by Rotom, Latios, grass types like Tangrowth, Bulu, stuff like that. And if you go with Ice Beam, then you're walled by more bulkier waters, and it's like Tapu Fini and stuff like that. And then if you don't run Ice Beam, my bad, you're gonna get walled by stuff like Amoonguss and Toxapex. Wait, hold up, Toxapex for Psychic. So basically what I'm trying to say is it's really hard to try and find a fourth move after running Surf between Psychic, Energy Ball, and Ice Beam, which is why it's such a problem. It still has the potential to break through many teams. Obviously, it's still a threat. The +1 speed is very nice because Manaphy's bulk is really good. And even then, if you don't want to even go for the +1 Rain Dance, you have a 175 base power water move, Hydro Vortex ready, that can just rip through many Pokemon. Manaphy has always, its defining feature has always been that it just destroys balance. But the thing is, in Sun Moon, at least balance is a little more rare. You see a lot of offense, bulky offense, but most of the offense teams are shit like Latios, Greninja, Magnezone, Metagross, a lot of these fast mons that can just threaten Manaphy out. So it's honestly not like Manaphy doesn't have the power, or basically it doesn't really have the power to really take on these teams. Because if you get off a Tail Glow, it's very rare that Manaphy's ever going to be able to get off both boosts versus offense. Very rare. Because even though it has like a good typing and natural bulk, it's still not bulky enough to be able to take like 2 Metagross Thunder Punches, Greninja Dark Pulses, Latios Draco, stuff like that. Like, it's just not, it's like, it's hard to expect it to really sweep many teams unless you're playing a very fat balance, which is why I guess Manaphy is always used as a late game sweeper or like a hole puncher. But even then, like, it's just kind of frustrating. Another thing is it lacks leftovers, so it's hard for this shit to like switch into Scalds and stuff, because if you get burned, you're not really recovering any HP and that kind of thing. You're also going to want entry hazards removed, because once you bring it in, you don't want your thing coming in, taking like Stealth Rocks, 2 layers of spikes, being at like 70%. It's just a frustration all around. But yeah, that's why I had Manaphy at number 10. Because it's still a good user of Z moves, but honestly in this meta it's definitely not as favorable as people were expecting in the beginning. Alright, next we have Scolipede. Now this set kind of caught some traction lately. It's the Z move Hydro Vortex, so Z move Aqua Tail. For people who don't know what this set is, because I don't think it's as standard, but it's still very solid, and I recommend everybody try it out. It's Swords Dance, Megahorn, Earthquake, Aqua Tail. Wait, no, not Earthquake, shit. Poison Jab over Earthquake. You don't need Earthquake. Basically what this set is able to do is Aqua Tail with the Z move at +2 becomes Hydro Vortex, which is a 175 base power move, so it can do a lot of things. Like, you just OHKO Landorus T, for example. If Landorus T switches in on you on an SD, you OHKO it, like, it's like a very high chance. It's like 70% of the time. At 100% Landorus T, the +1 Hydro Vortex from Scolipede will just be able to knock it out, which is crazy. It's a very potent sweeper because it keeps getting those speed boosts. Megahorn and Poison Jab are phenomenal coverage options now. Megahorn's able to hit stuff like Metagross hard, knocks out stuff like Garchomp, that kind of stuff. Poison Jab is obviously amazing for all the fairies that are running around like Coco, Lele, and all that stuff. Megahorn is just a very nice stab move in general. It's able to cream stuff like Ferrothorn, and it's just very strong, which is really nice. This mon's actually very cool. I was like, when I first I thought of this set on my own, but then a lot of people did as well. And I was like, this thing is going to be so sick. It's going to be like the greatest Mono U. It's not as good as I expected it to be. I mean, it's still very, very solid, and it can obliterate offense because Scolipede actually has some very nice natural Fizz Def. Its Spadef is pretty awful, and its typing is actually nice too, because, you know, it can come in on stuff like Pheromosa, like, not like switch into it, but like come in on it, and then Pheromosa is going to be obviously forced to switch out, because, you know, Ice Beam won't kill, and they're not trying to die in response. And then, you know, you can always go for your Hydro Vortex attack on, like, you know, most of the common switch-ins that would come into this thing. Like, again, like Celesteela, a weakened Skarm will die, stuff like that. It's just a very, very potent, like, the Hydro Vortex in particular is just really, really nice for Landorus T. And yeah, I would definitely recommend anyone try this mon out. It's like, it's awesome. Like, it's really, really cool. Like, I know, like, in theory, I'm gonna say in theory it sounds a lot better than it like truly is, but it's still very, very solid. It's able to destroy a lot of defensive cores too, stuff like Metagross, Tangrowth plus Heatran plus like Rotom Wash, stuff like that. It gets obliterated because Rotom and Tangrowth are getting Megahorned, and Heatran's just gonna get Aqua Tailed and die. A lot of defensive mons honestly can't take it on very well, which is really, really nice. I mean, there are some steel types that are still going to give it problems. Skarmory, Magnezone, shit like that. Like, if you use up your Hydro Vortex, obviously it's going to be a bit of an issue. But other than that, yeah, it's definitely a mon that you should try out. I've had a lot of success with it, and, you know, it's just a really potent sweeper. The whole, like, the combination of Scolipede has with the moves it gets, plus Swords Dance, gets the speed boost. It's already has a decent attack stat. It's really, really nice. So with that, yeah, that would be the 9th best Z move user. So next we have Garchomp. Now, I wasn't sure if I was originally gonna put Garchomp well, this high or above the other two, but Garchomp's Z moves are actually pretty solid, and people need to, you know, give them more attention. So these the Z moves it can use are Firium Z with Fire Fang, Devastating Drake with Outrage, and Tectonic Rage with Earthquake. I had a little bit of trouble sorting these sets in order, but honestly, if I were to do it, I'd put Tectonic Rage Z move as number 1, Fire Fang as number 2, and then Outrage Devastating Drake as number 3. Okay, my rationale for that is that the Earthquake thing is sick, because for one, Tectonic Rage is able to obliterate Clefable, which is really, really cool. Because then your SD Garchomp actually beats Stall. So if you can play around the Clefable and their Protect and all that, the what's it called, the Tectonic Rage will just destroy that thing, because Garchomp's still strong, dude. It has 359 attack. Another nice thing about it is that you know, when you have Ground DMZ, Tectonic Range, you're able to Oko shit like Tapu Fini and Ferrothorn at +2. And it's just extremely, extremely strong. Like, I'm reading this right now. It's able to Oko stuff like Keldeo, Lele, Toxapex, Metagross, which Earthquake normally wouldn't be able to do, which is awesome. What Devastating Drake lets you do, it's 190 base power Dragon type move, so obviously it's there to just nuke Landorus T, obliterate that thing for good. Hippowdons, Tangrowths, it's cool. But I mean, I guess it's only really for Landorus T though. Like, yeah, because like Hippowdon doesn't really exist, and Tectonic Rage is gonna nuke that thing anyway, which is why I had the Outrage as the last one. But going back to it, Fire Fang, which is with Fire MZ, is a 120 base power fire move. Very, very cool, because it's able to knock out Skarmory, Celesteela, which, you know, are very big threats to it. But like, to be honest, Garchomp on an SD set, it's not sweeping very often, because offense is very, very prominent right now. Stuff like Metagross and Greninja already Oko it and outspeed it and on like every single team. Same with Pheromosa. So, you know, this is only really good for balance, and similar to what I said with Manaphy, balance just isn't as prominent as it was in Aura. So teams aren't running the standard style of Heatran, Rotom, Clefable, Tornadus anymore. Like people are like, they understand we have tools like Pheromosa and shit, and they're like, okay, let's, you know, make use of that. So that's why, again, this set is only the 8th best. Like I said though, the Tectonic Rage set is very, very cool. I am Gingy actually used that. That's the guy I played week 3 in a battle. Let me pull that up. Hold on, let me pause this. Alright, sorry if the dimensions suck. This is how it worked. Like, this is how it came up, because I'm on Camtasia. But this is I am Gingy versus CL. This is for SPL week 4. CL brought this disgusting stall, and I am Gingy brought this wild team with Scarf, Thunderwave, Alakazam, and it's a wild team. So look, he loses off a Rotom, Drew leads off a Dougie, volts out turn 1 on the chance, he goes into Garchomp, he SDs, as CL misses the Toxic Wave. That obviously sucks, but like, I just want you to see what Garchomp does. So he's able to go into his Clefable here, he Earthquakes, it does 42, and then he's able to just, you know, go for the Tectonic Rage and basically knock out the Pheromosa check and the Garchomp check, because he goes into Skarmory, but this set is it's made to counter team stall. So he has Fire Blast, which is 58, as he Toxic with the Skarm there. He's then going to go into Alomomola, take a Dragon Claw, then yep, the Doug Trio is able to trap it, but not before this thing goes down to half. This thing loses its sash, and the, you know, Alomomola, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. And then Bug Buzz does so. Yeah, he had like a very like stall, like breaking base team, but what I'm saying still like matters. The Tectonic Rage Garchomp is obviously able to, you know, destroy a lot, and that's why it was, you know, put as the 8th best Z move user. So with that, let's move on to the next one. So here we had Mcgee Rinna. So I wanted to bring this thing up because this thing is a very, very potent Z move user. Its most notable set is probably Shift Gear, which runs Shift Geared, Flash Cannon, Aura Sphere, or Focus Blast, and then Thunderbolt. I like to run Steelium Z on this one because it's able to OHKO Landers T then, which is really, really nice. And I mean, it's a 160 base power stab move. Like, it's a solid thing to run. You can run a lot of things though. Fight EMZ lets you know OHKO, Excadrill, Ferrothorn, Heatran, stuff like that. Electrum Z with Thunderbolt lets you OHKO the water types like Suicune, Feeny, Toxapex, Celesteela. Celesteela's not a water type, but you get what I'm saying. And yeah, it's just a really nice sweeper in general because you keep racking up the +1 special attack boosts. Another thing that people kind of sleep on with Mcgee Rinna is while its speed is bad, 65, at +2 it reaches 502, which is pretty nice. You have speed, Scarf, Garchomp, notably, and Scarfers above that will beat you, but yeah, that's just how it is. The typing, Steel Fairy is arguably the best typing in the game after Steel Ghost, which only Aegislash has, but Steel Fairy is still extremely good. Its bulk is stupid good, dude. 115 defenses, the HP at 80 is still nice, even uninvested. This set is good. And then the other set that I really like is Trick Room, which I think is slowly starting to catch on. I kind of like it a little bit more than Shift Gear just because you can keep your max HP, which is really nice when you have as good defenses as Mcgee Rinna has. And on top of that, you just run Trick Room. You can run like a multitude of Z moves. I like Fairy Z with Twinkle Tackle, Flare Cannon because you actually just destroy something because it's super strong. And then T-Bolt is nice too. I know my friend on Fuga plays it and he runs Electrum Z. You know, again, it's just a hard move versus Metagross and stuff like that. And again, Soul Heart is like pretty much the crux of the set. You keep getting a +1 with every kill you get. It's sort of like Scolipede in that matter, except Scolipede's getting speed boost, you're getting special attack boost. This mon is very, very good. Like, I like it. Honestly, I haven't used Shift Gear lately just because I feel like it's hard to fit on a team. It doesn't always sweep as well as I'd want it to, but Trick Room is definitely devastating. People should definitely try that out more. Like, it's solid. I don't really have too much to say about Mcgee Rinna. It's pretty what's the word? It's pretty I guess self-explanatory what it can do. You Shift Gear it up, and then you just keep getting +1 special attack boost, and it's lit. Very few like really walls this, I guess. I mean, bulky steel types are the #1 thing that's always going to be frustrating, like Ferrothorn and Heatran, and then I guess stuff like Jirachi will inevitably wall you forever, Celesteela. And fire types in general are annoying too, like Marowak. But yeah, I mean, if you play it right, you save your Flash Cannon Z move, so where you can like nuke a Venusaur or Moongus or something, it can sweep very nicely. So with that, let's move on to the next one. I think after the next one I'll be halfway done. So 6th, I have Heatran. Now, in the beginning of the meta, I thought Heatran was the second best Z move user right after Landers T. I was like, Bloomtran is so stupidly hard to beat. It always gets a kill. It literally always gets a kill because Bloom Doom is impossible to switch into. But yeah, this set is sick. Magma Storm, Earth Power, Solar Beam, and then the last move you can run Taunt, you can run Stealth Rock. I think I run Stealth Rock, but I ran Taunt. I know CBB ran Taunt, I think. I don't know. This set is awesome. I love this set a lot. Because it basically makes it so that all the shit that people used to switch into in the past can't really switch in anymore. It's a 200 base power attack, or is it 190? I actually don't remember. Hold up. Whatever. Regardless, it's 190 or 200. I'm leaning towards 200, but I'm not sure. Anyway, it's stupid strong, obviously. Like, yeah, like stuff like Rotom can't switch in, Feeny can't switch in. The best part about it is once you Magma Storm something, they're basically, like, people go into their water types to check Tran, right? So you get trapped by Magma Storm, and then you're going to get Bloom Doomed and die. Like, it's phenomenal. It hits a lot of stuff hard. Gyarados and Garchomp are two neutral threats that come to mind. Garchomp takes like 80% from it, first of all, so it's not even a switch in. And Magma Storm is always a bitch to switch into because it still does a good amount because it's 100 base power, and it's always doing 12.5% per turn, which is just really, really nice. Like, Heatran, despite being slow, it's always a terror to play in every single gen. Honestly, I would never use any Z move set besides the Bloom Doom one. I know I did a live with the Z Sunny Day Firium. Yo, that set is trash. Don't use it. Don't use it because the speed sucks. But what's it called? It's nice, and Trans speed is also really nice because it's faster than stuff like Bulu, for example. So you can just run max speed, barely outpace it, and then just blow it away with Magma Storm. And again, like, the coverage of grass, fire, and ground is just very, very solid. You only really lose to stuff like Pelipper. Pelipper is gonna get blown away by Bloom Doom after a Magma, but actually no, because Rain's up. But Mantine, for example, stuff like that. So you can run HP Electric. I think that's the move me and CBB were running at first. But yeah, definitely recommend everyone tries this set out. It's really, really nice. It crushes balance, dude. It just destroys balance. Like, stuff that relies on running a fire, water, grass core, okay, your water type now just gets destroyed. Like, your water type can't come in on Heatran, which is what sucks. So yeah, definitely recommend using this thing out. Magma Storm Earth Power in general is nice because you keep making them take a recoil. Stuff like Feeny, when it doesn't run, if Feeny isn't running Scald, it loses anyway because, you know, it's going to get hit by multiple Earth Powers. Same with Toxic Spike. So again, yo, use Tran. Offensive Tran owns Bloom Tran 6. So yeah, that's basically all I got to say about that. I guess we're halfway through now. To the next one, the 5th one, I had Mence. Mence is awesome. Alright, I used Mence in my first week game in SPL. Lost, unfortunately, but that doesn't take away really from Mence's power. I mean, everyone knows what this thing does by now. Its only viable set is the Dragon Dance, the Dragon Dance 3 attack set with Fly, Dragon Claw, and Earthquake. Now, I really like this set because Fly, you know, obviously turns this thing into a complete, utter savage, dude. It's awesome. Like, the fact that now Mence went from being one of the worst Pokemon in Gen 6 to now being able to really be like a totally crazy sweeping threat is awesome because Mence's attack has always been stupid high, 135 of course. Moxie is a busted ability. And yeah, so basically what Fly let it do is muscle through almost all of its counters, which is great. For example, now stuff like Landorus in the past, which would have been able to be annoying, and bulky grass types, Tangrowth, stuff like that, it just gets popped. Like, you just go for the Supersonic Sky Strike and you put them down. Dragon Claw, you know, is just sturdy stab. Earthquake lets you kind of hit the, you know, the Mcgee Rinnas, the Heatrans, shit like that. Ferrothorn, for example, is already going to get Supersonic Sky Strike, so it's whatever. The only problem with Mence I've really found as of late is that, you know, if they bait the Z move, you're kind of a sitting duck versus some bulkier Pokemon because you're forced to run Dragon Claw and D-Claw. I mean, those are the same moves, my bad. Dragon Claw and Earthquake, which are just not strong moves, but, I mean, Mence is very, 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 very solid. It's a very, very good mon. It's just able to take on so much in the metagame once you get +1. But the thing with Mence is I like to run it with spikes, or I like to run it as a late game cleaner, because even at +1, stuff like Metagross can still tank your hit. Stuff like Celesteela is always going to wall, but the speed tier is also really, really nice, because, you know, 100 speed Jolly is just faster than stuff like Tapu Lele and stuff like that runs Scarf commonly. But yeah, this mon, you know, it's solid as shit. Like, nothing can really take a +1 Supersonic Sky Strike at all. It gets good setup opportunities as well, because, you know, its typing and bulk are just good enough to where if you can keep Stealth Rock off, it can take almost any neutral hit. So yeah, definitely recommend people try this thing out. I really like using it on offense, and totally, like, I think Magnezone isn't necessary, just because Salamence, Celesteela, Ferrothorn are just, yeah, I don't like those being around when I'm trying to sweep. So definitely recommend people try it running it on some Magnezone type HO. It obviously does like great. So with that, let's move on to the next mon. So here I had Tapu Bulu. Now, I don't even know if I really agree with putting this thing as the 4th best. It's kind of lost some usage lately, and Bulu lately has just kind of been like a whatever thing. But hear me out, it's still pretty solid. Basically what I'm talking about here with this set is the Z-Move Superpower set. So this is SD3 attack, Horn Leech, Superpowers, and Headbutt. This set is nice because it's able to destroy every balance, literally every balance, like core. Nothing can actually take this thing on, because your +2 Superpower is going to destroy Tangrowth, which is like the bulkiest thing that's able to deal with Bulu. Tangrowth can't even do anything to Bulu in the first place because they don't run Sludge Bomb, and HP Ice does like 35. Amoonguss gets Zen Headbutted, Heatran dies, Rotom, Horn Leech, stuff like, it's clean, dude. It's clean. This set is sick. It obliterates Stall. This mon itself beats Stall. The counter people use on Stall is Toxic Dugtrio. So yeah, because Clefable gets destroyed. Skarm doesn't run Brave Bird, they only run counter, so you just get +6. You Horn Leech on the counter, and then you destroy them with the +6 all out pummeling and stuff like that. It's a very, very solid set. People can think back to that SPL game I covered, which was ABR versus Mob Barley. I mean, the Bulu got burned, so it didn't do anything, but had it not been burned, Bulu was going to be able to destroy that team. And Bulu always, its typing is solid, and its defenses are good. 115 defense, 95 speed F, 70 HP sucks, but like it's able to switch into stuff pretty nicely, like resisted attacks and setup, and a lot of stuff just can't ult-code in general because of how frustrating that typing is. Like Ash Greninja, for example, is walled. Well, not walled, because again, the attacks still do a lot, but stuff like Tapu Koko can't really dent it too hard and stuff like that. It's definitely a good mon that people have been catching up to with the SD set. Definitely recommend using it. It's just, it's able to kill like everything at +2. And so yeah, I mean, the set's pretty much like a staple. You have to run Horn Leech and Superpower, and then Zen Headbutt is kind of optional, honestly. Sub is really, really cool. I like Sub. I like SD plus Leech Seed, but that's cooler with Leech. I don't know. That set's kind of hard now because It's easy to scare it out just because of stupid ass Metagross. Swords Dance Life Orb is also solid, but I mean, this is the Z move video, so use the Z move. But yeah, dude. Yeah, Zen Headbutt also hits Venusaur. I forgot to mention that, but yeah. Bull is sick, destroys most bulkier stuff, and I guess that's what Z moves are meant to do, you know, destroy balance. Okay, so with the third mon, we have Lord Gyarados. Now this mon, again, regular Gyara used to be pretty average in OU in Gen 6, but now it's lit, dude. I'm a very big fan of this set because it's good versus balance, and it's also very, very solid versus offense, because, you know, Moxie. Another cool thing with Gyara is it's like natural bulk is phenomenal, and the typing is sick too, because it's able to, you know, take a hit from stuff like Greninja and stuff like that, and basically all you need to run is DD, Bounce, Waterfall, Earthquake. You can even run Taunt over Earthquake, and it's like you're gonna kill everything. I mean, yeah, stuff like Rotom still walls you, but again, this thing is able to really destroy stuff like Tapu Fini, and the bulkier Grassmons. Intimidate's awesome, I guess, because like you can set up easier, but I like Moxie way more because I like getting the +1 attack boost. And Gyarados, even with its natural bulk, it's never setting up twice, so I would always only use Moxie. The only problem with this mon is basically that it's still slow after a DD. 81 speed sucks because you lose to all good Scarfers, like Garchomp and Tarak, and like, I guess you wall Keldeo, but like Garchomp and Tarak, and like Nihilego and just stuff like that and Lele, for example. It's just frustrating to be so slow, and again, it's very, very, very rarely ever going to get off 2 DDs because you don't just switch around to Gyara, you take it out immediately. Like, it's annoying. And most of the counters to Gyara can hit it pretty nicely, like Ferrothorn just power whips and just blows it away. The set is good though. Definitely recommend people trying it. It actually just had a destruction, like an absolute obliteration body bag in SPL. Let me find the replay real quick. Alright, here we are. Zamrock's running this wild ass offense. Zamrock, he's turned into a god versus Get This Money. Get This Money is using a very typical looking, bulkier offensive team, so just watch this replay. Zamrock even has the Uxie because, you know, he's a wild boar. Leads off with this Magikarp's turn 1 because, you know, we never see misplays from this man. Magikarp's again because he a flexer. Then he switches out because he's like, alright, I have less Magikarp than rocks. He goes into this and the game literally ends. He goes into Fini, he DDs, he Sky Strikes there. He didn't have to Sky Strike there. He DDs again, Waterfalls. This dude tries to go into his Tangrowth and bait the bounce, but that's a player like Zamrock. What are you doing? Waterfall does that much and the game literally ends there. Because he BPs, it does 26 with a crit, and it just, yeah. Game over. It's like, look at what it can do to typical balance. It's crazy, like how insane this mon can be. I mean, I guess the same could be said for Mence, and well, actually, Mence would have died to the Moonblast from Fini, or Metagross BP would have done more. But yeah, basically, what I'm trying to say is Mence is a savage. It can destroy balance. It can also destroy offense. It's lit. Give it a try. And with that, we'll move on to the next mon, Volcarona. This thing is like my biggest fear in playing Pokemon. I hate going up against this thing because, first of all, it's unbeatable. Alright, it's so, like, I hate this mon. I hate playing against it. All my teams are weak to it, so I always have to run some like stupid super measure to deal with it. But let's just get into what its set is. It's Quiver Dance, Fire Blast, Giga Drain, Hidden Power Ground at Firium Z. Infernal Overdrive, backed up by the Fire Blast, is 185 base power. And it's just stupid strong. My favorite part about this mon is that you don't have to set up to win with it. Fire Blast already does stuff like Oko Landorus after rocks and stuff like that. It's just a strong move in general. At +1, you're able to kill stuff like Zygarde, Gyarados, Garchomp, Salamence after rocks. Actually, I don't know about the Garchomp check. Don't quote me on that one. I think that one needs some chip. Maybe the same with Gyara. I know Zygarde doesn't get Oko, but I know Mence gets obliterated after rocks. But basically what I'm trying to say is, this mon is sick. Its speed tier is very, very nice as well, because 100 base speed, you know, makes it, you know, beat Scarf Lily and stuff like that. Unfortunately, it does lose to Scarf Chomp and Tarak, which are picking up in popularity, especially Scarf Chomp. But I don't know why it became so nice. It basically invalidates, what's it called? It basically invalidates balance. Like, look at Get This Money's team again. Hold up, look at this. What does he do? You can be Scarf Tarak, but like that's it. And if I Giga Drain on the switch, then you can't come in again. You have to like play your odds that I won't or whatever. Like, Volk has the ability to obliterate this team, and it doesn't even have to. What's it called? Volk doesn't even have to set up versus this team. It just kills everything because it has HP ground for the Tran. Like I said, it's a very, very, very solid mon. And again, there's not too much variation for the set. I know Masterclass actually ran a very cool set in his SPL Week 1 game. Let me pull that replay. Alright, this is versus Hector Hard Mode versus Sweet Beju's Masterclass. This is a cool battle, both rocking Volcarona. Masterclass played this game like a god, I remember. Oh, look at the dude had the Volcarona set up the +1. Masterclass had the Tech Scarf Dougie. Let me just show the sweep with the Volk basically, because again, this dude has a fairly Volk weak team as well. All he really has is Scarf Chomp. Hold up, what does he do? Oh, this is lit. He goes into his Volcarona on the Metagross. Dude goes hard into his Garchomp, you know, because he's going to Quiver Dance. This dude had the Tech HP Ice for Garchomp. Quiver Dances on the Switch, and then at that point, the game's over. Because he just Quiver Dances, Giga Drains, yeah. So, I mean, and then, you know, Fire EMZ or whatever. It's a cool set. Definitely recommend people give this thing a try. It's very, very powerful. It can, I mean, both their dudes' teams technically get beaten by it. But, I mean, Sweep has the Dougie, so it works out. But, yeah, use this Mon. It's sick. I mean, it still has the problems Volcarona always had, which is Stealth Rock weak. Dies to all priority, and you know, it's frail physically, but yeah, this thing is awesome. It's so hard to play against, dude. You need to run like Scarf Nihilego / Tarak to like have a chance. I hate this Mon. Let's move on to the number one though. It's obviously, I mean, the number one's pretty obvious. Everybody knows it. It's the greatest Mon of all time. Landorus T, the GOAT. All right, SD, Rock Polish, Stone Edge, Earthquake. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Okay, it can run so many sets that are unbeatable. My favorite set for this thing has to be the Double Dance set, which is I used in my last SPL game. It did a decent amount of work, but yeah, I mean, everyone's probably played this set by now if you play OU at all. The Double Dance set with the Rock EMZ turns Stone Edge into 175 base power. I'm fairly sure. Is it? Or it might, no, it's 180, I think. I don't know the numbers, dude. Just know it's between 175 and 190. I'm assuming it's 180. But anyway, it's able to do stuff like KO Rotom instantly. Celesteela and Skarm get obliterated. It hits Landorus T very, very hard. And the best part about it is even after the thing with the reason I like this set over running SD Fly with Supersonic Sky Strike is that after you use your Supersonic Sky Strike, Fly is useless because your opponent's just gonna bait it and it's just bad. The thing I like about Rock EMZ is that Stone Edge already kills what you need it to kill, the usual counters, and then you can still use it afterwards, which is really, really cool. Another thing with Landorus T is that it's very, very bulky. This set has no counters in the game besides like Clefable, and if you're Supersonic Sky Strike, you beat Clefable. So it's like, yeah, but then I guess you lose to Skarm Ray then, but yeah, this set doesn't have counters, which is cool, besides, like I said, Clefable and I guess the occasional Quagsire, which doesn't actually exist, but yeah. It's very, very hard to switch into, and it can actually run a ton of different like sets. I know TDK and Brofist, two good friends of mine, were using Stealth Rock Swords Dance, which is really cool because you keep rocks up on like everything. Because once you SD, like you basically beat stall alone because you're always keeping rocks up. Because Skarm's gonna get blown away. Sableye obviously cannot beat SD Lando if it switches into it. And in general, it's just very, very good at keeping the rocks up. It's able to muscle past usual defoggers like Tapu Fini and stuff like that. It's a cool Mon. I mean, everyone's probably used it by now. It's probably the best, one of the best sweepers in the tier by far. Rock Polish and the Swords Dance Stealth Rock set. Another set that I've actually been toying with lately that I want to use more is Stealth Rock 3 attack with Supersonic Sky Strike. This set's cool as well. It's like a more offensive twist on things. It's kind of reminiscent of the Stealth Rock 3 attack Earthquake set, but I like this one a lot because Supersonic Sky Strike lets you, you know, take down Fini and bulky grasses and stuff. Because once you see Stealth Rock, you're not going to expect it to be able to, you're not going to expect the Z-move Fly, so people think their Tangrowths and stuff are safe, and Landorus still has 427 attacks, so yeah, something to look into. But that is going to be the video. These were the top 10 Z moves I kind of wanted to talk about, just some of the best moves. It was kind of like a pretty brief, kind of short video, only like 28 minutes, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments below what else you want to see competitive video wise, top 10 wise. I know the next video I'm going to put up is the best Sun Moon UU Pokemon because that tier has finally been fully finished, but yeah, let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Later, y'all. I'm out.